Yeah. There we are. It was I think it was Pipetta medium pilot last lap. Comparison.
It's.
Yeah, graphic 3.
Graphic 3, yeah. So that's fine. Right, James, I need your help.
Yeah.
I'm terrible at maths. So, we've got... So what if... Hang on. So we've got Perpetuum. If he finishes P5 outright, he's the champion. However, if he gets, say, fastest lap and pole position, position he'd finish in? Trying to think, 3 points.
Fourth?
Are you in agreement, Tom?
Hang on. 30, 25, 22, 20, isn't it? So 18, hang on. 18. 19 points to draw. So if you get pole position at 2 points, fastest lap a point, third, 22 points.
So he'd just have to... No, this is for Perpetuum to win the title, isn't it? No, regardless of what medium pilot scores.
For Perpetuum to win the championship, so 19 points. So hang on, I'll go from the top downwards. So,
So we've got
right point system, 30, 25, 20. How many? He needs 19, isn't it? So 19, well, so that'll be medium... 9th, discounting fastest lap and pole position. But with pole position and fastest lap, it'll be 6th. Yeah.
Do you know what? Tom's really good at this. I know he'll keep us up to date. He'll keep us bang up to date. With it all.
Mhm.
You beautiful man. You beautiful man. Thank you.
Oh, who's informed of their absence? Varkey is informed of their absence tonight. Yeah. So like a couple of hours beforehand. Yeah, all I would say to that is maybe taking like extenuating circumstances, so if like a family emergency comes up or something, then... Oh. One of those things, but yeah.
Cool. You got mine, haven't you, Tom?
Oh shit!
Cool.
I'm sitting here thinking I've missed something. I haven't sent my link in. Crap.
Oh dear.
Thanks for reminding us, Kieran.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Keeping us up to date. Oh, on the ball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh. Oh, Killer... Oh, come on! Killer Blue's now racing on his Killer Blue account. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sure. Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, I was about half a second off there.
That's to be expected, though.
Yeah. Should all be fine, I hope.
Oh.
What?
Sheffield United just picked up their first win of the season tonight. And of course, against all the teams, it was Newcastle United.
Get in!
Oh, classic Newcastle.
And Sunderland's winning as well. Get in!
So, Sheffield United, after what is it now, 19, 20 games, are now finally up to 5 points. Oh. Oh.
At least it was against Newcastle, though.
Oh, yes, I am ready, Mr. Tom.
I am ready.
Right. Well. Okay. 1. I've got a big pad and paper in front of me. So. Alright then, good luck everyone. Let's absolutely smash this one out of the park. It's been a pleasure to work with you all. And yeah, let's make the last one a good one. Alright, and here we go, without further ado, for the final time from me, 10 seconds. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and wherever you're watching in the world, welcome along to League Racing TV. You join us for the final round of TT Masters League, the 11th round, which takes us to Abu Dhabi and the Yas Marina circuit, where all that you need to know is that the championship will be decided tonight. The Constructors' Championship, that's all but wrapped up. However, when we head to the Drivers' Championship, 2 drivers are in the running to wrap this title up tonight. And you can just about see here the head-to-head between them, Perpetuum and Medium Pilot. Those are your 2 drivers that could have the possibility of taking home a championship tonight. Perpetuum, the challenger, versus Medium Pilot, the Season 1 champion. Who will come out on top? 19 points between them, and it will be decided tonight. My name is Kieran McGinley, and joining me in the commentary box for this final round of the second season is the lovely, the fantastic, the Mr. 100% himself, James Head. James, how are you tonight?
Doing really well, Kieran. It's going to be a fascinating night of action, of course, out on track at the Yas Marina circuit. And Perpetuum, of course, leading the championship on 206 points. Medium Pilot in second on 187. 19 points can pretty much seal it, I think, between them both, in terms of the championship, that is. But Perpetuum, all he's got to do, really, is win and score ahead of Medium Pilot. That's all he has to do.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Perpetuum, all he has to do, finish ahead of Medium Pilot, and 19 points between them. So we should probably tell you now that these are the alternate point scoring strategies. So it's not 25 points for the win, it's 30 points for the win. That is something we have to get perfectly clear all the way through. So whatever you think about normal Formula 1 out there, no, you're thinking of TT Masters League now. 30 points for the race win, and so on and so forth. Hopefully those will be on your screen right now to give you an idea of what needs to happen. So as you can see, 19 points between first place and I believe that's going to be ninth place. That's just to level them, and that's of course before you add on the 1 point for fastest lap and 2 points for pole position. So if Perpetum gets pole position, Medium Pilot's job gets a lot tougher. If Medium Pilot gets the pole position, well, the gap comes down to 17 and there's more of a chance of Medium Pilot coming out on top. But this is quite a mountain to climb for Medium Pilot, isn't it?
It is a big mountain to climb, I think, for Medium Pilot, and I think him being the Division 1 champion could be the only reason why he could try and go for this here tonight, because Perpetum obviously has that 19-point advantage. Medium Pilot will be hoping he gets a really good lap in qualifying, gaps that down to 17, and then I think it's something between first and fourth. That Medium Pilot wins, Perpetum second, then we go into a whole different scenario. So it's going to be fascinating to see how we see it out on track tonight. Looking through the rest of the standings as well, Amazing Hour in third on 132, Killer Blue in fourth on 119, and Matthias in fifth on 109. That gap for third is 13 points between Amazing Hour and Killer Blue, so watch out for that during the course of tonight as well. Kern, Twitch Lemon, I'm a D, M Short, and Recon filling out the top 10 positions. And then, of course, you mentioned about the constructors. That all but wrapped up, of course, as well.
Yes, and Mercedes look in control of that one. In fact, the absolute limit of where they come into tonight, the absolute maximum you can score, 33 points, is exactly the gap. So all that the Mercedes driver has to do, and all the Mercedes drivers have to do, is make sure they just finish this race, and they will pretty much be uncatchable. And for one of them to do that, well, one of them's in the championship running, funnily enough, Medium Pilot. So chances are Mercedes will wrap up the Constructors' Championship here tonight. It's just that mathematically there is a chance for at least one other team to have a go at that Constructors. But a Mercedes winning the Constructors' Championship. Never heard that one before, James, have you?
No, it's just common theme, really, isn't it, in Formula 1 these days? I think it's just been so consistent from Medium Pilot's perspective. Matthias also has been a real shining light. His first season, of course, in TTML, and he's really came alive, I think, this season, especially through that middle half where he had a really good run of results. And I hope it's going to be the case there tonight. He can still mathematically stay in contention for third, but it's a massive, massive ask. But, I mean, fifth on his first season. Give that guy a round of applause. It's been phenomenal performance from him this season.
Yeah, it really has. And, well, we've got third place in the championship still. Could be decided here tonight. An amazing hour, putting in some really, really good shifts throughout this entire season. I mean, all fair play to the Australian. He's got a couple of wins under his belt, a handful of podiums as well. And he's third place in the championship. But remember, he didn't start this season. He came through as a mid-season driver. So that just amplifies how quick he actually is. He's going to be one to watch next season, isn't he, James? Surely.
He is going to be one to watch next season. I think if he gets a full season of races under his belt, he's going to be possibly a leading contender next season. We've seen the sign-ups coming through. Sign-ups now closed, of course, for TTML next season. But the amount of sign-ups that we've got the likes of Mashiro coming through from Division 2 as well, wrapping up the championship last season. I'm sure Tom was very, very happy with his donuts that he did on the formation lap and not at the end where he tried to get the graphic for. Bless him, I really feel for him that day. But yeah, Amazing Hour, all on a whole, has been absolutely phenomenal this season. And remember, I think he joined in France, if I'm not mistaken, and he won on his first race.
Yeah, and there's something about TT Masters League debuts and race wins. They seem to go right in alignment. It is quite astonishing when you look back at the history. Before, of course, in TTL, similar thing happened. We're only in our second season, of course, of the merge here in TT Masters League. But I've got to be honest with you, there have been some fantastic races this season. And James, I'm going to have to give it to you before we go down into the lobby. Who's going to be your champ?
All roads, I think, point to Perpetum, but I just feel that there might be a little bit of a sting in the tail. So I know I've predicted Perpetum for the championship victory on Twitter, but I'm going to go Medium Pilot. I think something might happen to Perpetum. He might just have an off day.
Change of heart there for James, of course, but we now make our way towards this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And of course, hopefully you have enjoyed the season so far. We're going to end it under the floodlights here at the Yas Marina circuit for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. So without further ado, for the final time this season, let's go racing at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Well, we're under the floodlights here for the final round of TT Masters League Division 1 Season number 2. Round 11 takes us to the Yas Marina circuit here in Abu Dhabi. And of course, the selected tyre compounds, we're looking at the really hardest compounds we can really take. Or sorry, the softest compounds we can really take. Soft, medium, hard, C3, C4 and C5. As we are here at the Yas Marina circuit, at one point you go underneath a walkway in a hotel. Glamour personified here, and that just exacerbates under these floodlights. As you can see, 5.5 kilometres takes us around 21 turns of the Abu Dhabi circuit, with 2 DRS zones and 2 detection zones as well. Limited overtaking opportunities and not much undulation apart from in the first sector. Lots of 90-degree turns to really test the camber of these cars as we make our way towards qualifying now. Well, obviously we're under the floodlights here. A little bit of cloud in the sky, I do believe. However, it looks like it's going to be dry. Nothing like what we had a couple of weeks ago, James? With all that's happened to us so far, we look like we're going to be okay. 15 drivers have turned up for this one. And of course, we do have Perpetuum. We do have Medium Pilot here in the lobby. So game on. 19 points between them. Remember, the point scoring starts in qualifying. Pole position worth 2 points. And I can tell you, for Medium Pilot, those are going to be a very, very valuable 2 points. He will be out there right away to try and get those 2 points.
Yeah, just to remind you about the permutations coming into tonight as well. Medium Pilot outscoring Perpetuum by at least 19 points to win the title tonight. So it's going to be fascinating to see, of course, how he gets on, how Perpetuum gets on as well. So it's going to be one of those nights where I think you're going to have to try and tune in as much as possible for the action. And you're going to have to listen to 2 waffling commentators for the next 18 minutes here in qualifying. Recon first out on track. He's been a bit of a blaze of glory, I think, in the last couple of weeks, to be honest. Recon really came alive last week, of course, at Mexico, and he just seemed to be a bit of a shadow of his former self, I think, this season. Former TTL champion, of course, going forward, but Recon, I think, could be the one to watch out for. Not if he does that, though, as Invalidator coming through turn 12.
It's alright though, because it's only his outlap, so he's got no problem with that. As long as he doesn't do that in the third sector, of course, that could be the real issue. But we now come underneath this hotel walkway here. What a sight to see as you go underneath the hotel here. But making our way now through these last couple of corners. James, you've got a variety of drivers to choose from, but who's your pick for this week's hot lap?
Let's go on board with Recon. He's first out on track. Let's go on board with him as he comes now at the final corner through turn 21. And Recon now begins off a lap of this 5.5 kilometre circuit, as Kieran alluded to. Down in towards turn 1, braking just after the 100 metre board, around the 75 metre board, to be honest, if there was a braking marker there. Through turn 1 safely, then up the hill, through turn 2, and then through turn 3. Gets caught. Doesn't want to get too greedy on that curb, because I can throw the car into the wall. 16.7 through the first sector from Recon, as he now comes through the flying chicane of 4 and 5. And then into the hairpin now of 6 through 7. And now, down the straight, he comes. That's 1 kilometre straight down towards turn 8. And then, he might be hanging like a cow as he comes out of turn 9 and 10. Remember, Hulkenberg, of course, back in 2018, flipping that Renault around. A real dramatic sight. Probably one of the most dramatic sight you've seen. Through turn 8 and then through turn 9 goes Recon. Runs wide. Nice lap, though, so far, as he now comes through the DRS zone along the F2 pit straight, which used to be known, of course, as the F2 pit straight back in the day. They used the traditional Formula 1 layout, though, this time. 56.2 from Recon through the middle sector. Now through 11, 12 and 13 as Killer Blue was retired from the session on the exit of turn 8, I think it is, out on track. So we'll see what happened to him in just a second. Recon, though, coming now through this very twisting section. This final sector is so on the limit. Now through 17, then through 18, then underneath the grandstand and the hotel at 19, then along the bay towards turns 20 and then 21. And that is pretty much a lap of Abu Dhabi circuit complete. Recon, though, ran the final corner. I think he's on for 132 here. Recon across the line. 132.8. The James Head prediction goes right already.
Combi across the line, then 33.1 from the McLaren IMD, then 33.5 on a set of medium tyres. Now that's one to watch later on in the session. Between the softs and the mediums, it's normally around about 7 to 8 to 9 tenths of a second, so that's not a bad lap time there from IMD. Wondering what he can do on a set of the soft tyres. We've got, of course, Medium Pilot out there. We've got Perpetuum, who's out there as well, ready to start a flying lap. Or is this to complete a flying lap for Perpetuum? It's to complete it. 32.811, 2,000ths of a second slower than Recon there. So not bad start for Perpetuum. Of course, he is in control of this championship at the moment, and he will be really hoping to extend that advantage going in towards the race tonight. 2 points on offer for pole position. He would love to extend that lead to 21 points, wouldn't he? Considering that the winner only gets 30 as Kern goes at top of the table. 32.7 from the Renault now puts him on provisional pole.
Yeah, Kern had a really good lap time in League of Europe, and we came here, of course, early on in the season at Abu Dhabi. I think it was the penultimate round of the season, and he qualified well up the grid, and that was quite close that day. We're not going to see quite as close of a grid as that, but I'm involved with Amazing Hour, who's on a lap running down the straight. Medium Pilot, I think, is further on, running down into the middle sector split, so I'm sure we'll try and get on board with both drivers. I'm a D, by the way, who won CWC last night, so congratulations to him for winning that race. 33.5 in a set of mediums. He's only 8/10ths off, and a track that can find about 1.2, 1.3 seconds from mediums to softs. Really good transition period, I think, for Ahmadi later on, as Amazing Hour 56.3 through the middle sectors. Ahmadi is actually retired, coming into the pit lane, I think.
Yeah, I think he might have actually made a little bit of a... Yeah, so that's exactly what I thought then from Ahmadi. So unfortunately for him, we're not going to see another lap. But Medium Pilot will come around the final corner, turn 21. He has invalidated this lap time, so he'll have to go again. And of course, a long circuit like this, 5.5 kilometres, it's not as simple as if you don't get the right lap first time round, you can cool down the tyres, recharge the battery, anything like that. This is really a circuit where you've got to give it a one shot.
Oh, 32.6 Amazing Hour. I was just going to cut in there, Kieran, and say, yeah, really good lap from Amazing Hour. And he's now on top by 1/10 of a second from Kern in second, Recon third, Perpetuum in fourth. I'm sure we'll get a bit of a graphic up showing you the timings between the guys and the splits between the guys, of course, out on track. Matthias in there in 13, gone for a bit of an excursion on the grass coming through 14. He's lost his right side end plate completely off that car, and he will have to troop his way back to the pit lane as well. Chapelelli, I think, had left side end plate damage on his lap. He was back into the pit lane as well.
Yep, so Medium Pilot still hasn't set a lap time so far in this session. His teammate Matthias, though, is just making his way through the final two corners on a set of medium tyres. He now makes his way in towards the pit lane, so he's obviously decided not to complete that lap on a set of mediums. Comes back into the pit lane. So we've got Medium Pilot out there. It says he's on a lap, but he's not at the moment. Carlsbury, 6th place so far, 33.3. Lots of understeer there going through turn 18, and you can just see how demanding that final sector is in terms of tyre wear. That really does rely on mechanical grip there as Carlsbury comes into the pit lane there and coming very, very close to the... You can still see where Ahmadi's front wing end plate still lies.
Yeah, and that could pose quite a difficulty, I think, for people coming into the pit lane, because if that front wing damage is still there, it could actually cause a little bit of a problem. We'll have a look at Recon and Perpetuum as well in terms of their lap times. 0.02 of a second being separated, of course, out on track. I'll just get rid of my data to the left-hand side so we can bring that graphic up. I can eventually manage it, I hope. There we are. So we should see that graphic now. Recon and Perpetuum, yeah, look at that. 0.02 of a second separate them out on track, and it comes to show how difficult it is to try and improve on a lap, I think, around here. Both of them are now on outlap, so inevitably, I think they're going to try and improve. Volbike I was on board with, by the way, and he, I think, has invalidated the lap because he's now going very slowly.
Yeah, as we just see Recon now making his way in towards 15 and 16 then, as Chapelelli is now the latest driver to retire from the session, and that is that in the pit lane, I wonder?
That's on the exit of the pit lane.
It is. So, unfortunately, he's been caught out by the pit lane exit, which is, well, when you think about it, very easy to do. You're coming down a part of the track that is hardly used, and if it is, you don't turn a wheel in anger at the pit lane exit there. So very easy to do, very, can lull you into a false sense of security there, as Volbike there goes 10th fastest, 45.4, but of course that's not a representative lap time. He has obviously made a mistake on his first attempt. He's now going to go and completely ignore the advice I gave him and go for a second run right now with a little bit of battery, so that implies that he got it wrong early on in his stint there. 10th off in the first sector, that's of his own personal best. However, that implies then that he didn't make the mistake, he didn't make the call to abandon the lap in the first sector, so he'll keep ongoing. Kern there is on a flying lap now. He's just making his way up the hill, up the crest here. This is really the only real bit of undulation in through the entire lap through Sector 1 as we now descend through Turn 4 as we head to the braking zone of Turns 5 and 6. 600ths of a second faster than his previous best through the first sector, trying to find some time against Amazing Hours. Speak of the devil, there he is on the left hand side as Kern passes his way through. DRS now wide open as he now makes his way down that long straight towards turns 8 and 9. Plenty of time to think about your braking zone there. Perpetuum fourth fastest, 32.8. Medium Pilot though is back out onto circuit for an outlap. 8 minutes to go.
Yeah, going to be fascinating. I think Datamo, by the way, has gone 0.3 quicker than IMD, so good lap there by the German. He goes 6th, 1:33.2. Got a little bit of time, I think, in that lap as well. Let's find back on board with Kern, 56.3, a 10th up in the middle sector, and let's see how he's going to get on as he now flies through the S section. Recon goes quickest, 32.5. Good lap there by the Dutchman, and he's really coming alive, I think, towards the end of this season. Could be a contender for next season, who knows? Cohen, though, coming round the final couple of corners. I know I pronounced that name wrong, but we'll roll with that. 18, then through 19. Now Kern coming through turns 20 and 21. The final two corners, of course, out on track. Can he throw it down to the limit? Can he be quicker than Recon? He might have a chance here, you know. Kern across the line. And he goes second, and he's 700ths of a second off. Recon out on top. Kern in second. Amazing now a third. It's an old Dutch 1-2.
Absolutely, and it looked like a really good lap time, but it's just not quite enough to grab him that provisional pole position.
Perpetuum goes quickest, 32.3, 4.5 tenth improvement nearly on that lap. Really good, and I think Medium Pilot is out there as well.
He is, but he's invalidated his latest chance, so this is not going well for Medium Pilot. Of course, the defending champion coming in towards tonight's race, and that crown could be handed over if he doesn't have a good lap and if he doesn't have a good race. What he really needs is pole position here in this race. Failing that, he needs somebody else to try and grab that pole position off of Perpetuum. Matthias, not very far away actually, in that second Mercedes, only at 32.4. That's just over 1/10 down on Perpetuum, and considering Matthias then, he's been under the radar the entire season and pops up with a lap time like that, James.
Really good lap time, and I think it just comes to show why he's fifth in the standings, to be honest. It's fascinating to see him really going on. Amazing Hours purple in the middle sector. Can he be the spoiler of the party to Perpetuum's lap time? 2/3 of the way through qualifying. 6 minutes ago, Perpetuum out on top, Matthias second, Recon in third at this stage. Amazing Hour now coming through the final couple of corners, then through 17, 18, and now coming under the grandstand again through 19. And he's really on the limit here, gets close to the wall on the exit. Now through turn 20, Datamo has left the session, and Amazing Hour has actually backed off this lap. I think it's because I was on board with him and he doesn't want to set a representative lap. That's why he's came in back into the pit lane with 5.5 minutes to go. I think he's done that maybe to get 2 runs out at the end.
Possibly. The only problem with that is that it is a long track here and you use the softest tyres possible when we come here to the track. Pirelli supply us with the C5, C4 and C3 tyres, the softest tyres of their range, so you've really got to treat them with care. Legend then makes his way around the final corner. He will set a lap time 33.8, sets himself 12th fastest at the moment with 3 drivers yet to set a lap time. Only one of them though is still in this with a chance to actually set a lap time. 5 minutes to go then. Perpetuum looks like he's trying to strengthen his hold on that championship lead with pole position right now. 32.3 is currently the fastest lap of this session. It's Matthias in second, Recon third, Kern in fourth, Amazing Hour is in fifth. Carlsbury with his latest lap went up to 6th place from 10th. Lemon there in 7th, Combi in 8th, Holbeig in 9th, and Datamo rounding out the top 10. Armady, who's not going to set a quicker lap time, he's out of the session, crashing at the pit lane entrance. 11th place, 33.5. Legend with a 33.8 is the 12th fastest car, and the last car to set a lap time, Medium Pilot, the only driver yet to set a lap time that is still in this session. And on this rare occasion then, we've really only got one car out on track as we make our way through, James.
Yeah, only one car out on track, unfortunately, but Perpetuum out on top, Matthias second, Recon in third. Live standings update, Perpetuum getting those 2 points currently out on track means he's now 21 points clear at the top of the standings, and Medium Pilot has now got to try and respond. I'm on board with Medium Pilot. I'm looking to that Mercedes garage and thinking when he's going to come out. Spot on, because he's coming out now.
Yeah, and Matthias coming out medium pilot, trying to get going there. We've got a McLaren who's just coming out of that pit lane as we make our way all the way down once again. And which car is this going to be then? It is going to be Volbike, who makes his way now down the hill and under the pit lane we go. And it's a very tricky pit lane, very narrow as well. It's one of those you do forget about, James. We've already seen the pit lane exit catch out one driver. I wouldn't be surprised to see it catch out another.
Yeah, I wonder with Chapelelli actually if there was a bit of a third party like involvement in there, like a controller disconnecting or something like that. I'm thinking maybe to cause that. But anyways, it's a shame he's starting right from the back of the field. Medium pilot and Matthias just go straight on, passing through the chicane through 6 and 7. That's a really good line to take. It's the wrong line to take, but it's a good line to take for medium pilot. And with 3 minutes to go, he's going to try and lay it all on the line here. Volbike, as you say, is the first out on track. Medium pilot is second. Matthias third out on track. How is Recon going to get on though? 32.5. I think he might have a special lap in him. And we know he is the king of the late qualifying session. So, can Recon maybe defeat Matthias? Maybe defeat Perpetuum just ahead? Remains to be seen. Watch out for Maisenauer. Watch out for medium pilot as well.
Absolutely, and as you say, Recon is such a master at putting in a lap time when it matters, putting in the lap time as late as he possibly can, and normally it does, and it is enough to grab him at pole positions. Well, when we look at these sort of pole position stats, James, I mean, it doesn't look great for one of the championship contenders in Perpetuum. Only 2 pole positions for him this season, medium pilot with 6, but right now, when it matters, Perpetuum is currently, provisionally, on that pole position. Out of 11 Grand Prix, if he stays like this will only be his 3rd pole position of the season. And between the 2 of them, if it finishes like that, 9 out of the 11 pole positions would have been captured by the 2 championship rivals.
Which is absolutely unbelievable, and I think it's something like a 70-odd% strike rate, I think, if those 2 have 9 pole positions between them. Medium pilot, of course, has just started on a lap. Let's run on board with him and see how he's going to get on. Through turn 3, then the exit of turn 4, then towards turns 5 and 6. 16.6 through the first sector from medium pilot is very quick, but can he put it all together? Now coming through turn 7, at the exit of the hairpin, looking very good indeed as he now runs down the straight. DRS now enabled, of course, as he runs in excess of 200 mile an hour down towards the braking zone at turn 8. And you can already see him reaching 200 mile an hour, maybe 2 or 5 as he comes into the braking zone at the 100 metre board, turns himself in through turn 8 and then catches the curb through turn 9. Oh, I thought that was going to be an invalidation there running across the curb, but it's not. A medium pilot knows the limits as he now comes through turn 10 and then towards this fearsome section of the final sector. 55.9, he's gone sub 56 in the middle sector. This is a great lap so far from medium pilot through turns 11, 12, 13 and now through 14 and then running past the marina on the right hand side as he comes through the triple right of 15, 16 and 17. Count them up as we go along. Detamo leads the session again and might cause a bit of an issue later on in the session. So was Recon as now medium pilot comes through turn 19. He's invalidated on the exit of turn 18 through 19 and medium pilot. Is that it for him? He's at the final couple of corners. He's got another chance, but it's going to be very tight.
It is. Does he decide to go again?
He does.
Yes, he does. He's got no other choice. He's got to get back out there. He's got to go again. So, here we go again. As we see, medium pilot has got to do that all over again. And just so infuriating when he was linking that lap up all together really nicely. And it just invalidated at one of the last possible places it is possible to invalidate your lap time. Perpetuum then is currently on a flying lap then. He goes now into the DRS zone, down towards turn 8 we go, and we'll be able to see at some point coming to the end and towards the braking zone of turn 11 is when we'll be able to find out what Perpetuum's time is like, what his delta is at the moment as he negotiates 8 and 9, really taking liberties with that curb on the exit of 9 as they all do, as you keep close to the left hand side as possible for the shortest run possible towards the braking zone of turn 11. Let's have a look and see. He's gone half a tenth quicker than his own time through that second sector just to ramp up that pressure more. He's run wide there on the exit exit of turn 13, but it doesn't seem to matter. At some point we'll see him emerge into the picture then as we head now through 15, 16 into the braking zone of turn 17. Challenging corner there where it encourages you to trail brake as much as possible through 18, then through turn 19. Hasn't invalidated. Well, he would have needed a change of gear after that one going through Kern's car, but he's invalidated the lap now as well as he comes around the final corner. He won't have a chance to go quicker. This is Medium Pilot's time now.
He's not responding.
13th place at the moment.
He's not responding. I think he's just backed off the lap, I think. Round the final corner, he will get a clean lap in, but across the line, I think he's going to start outside the top 10. He is. That might have been on purpose, that slowdown. 33.3 from Medium Pilot and starts 11th. Perpetuum on pole. 2 points for pole position, of course. 21 points now, the gap. Game on. Medium Pilot has got a mountain to climb if he wants to win this. Carlsbury, by the way, second.
Yeah, he really, really does. As we see there, Perpetuum capturing his third pole position of the season. And there you go. Out of the 11 races, 9 of them have been captured by our 2 championship contenders tonight. As has been their grip on this championship, as has been their pace so far this season. It has been phenomenal. But for the third time this season, Perpetuum starts on pole position and grabs 2 vital points, extending that championship gap to 21 points. And makes that Medium Pilot in his job tonight even harder. Let's put it this way. The 2 of them, of course, if they were to draw level on points, it would mean that Medium Pilot has to finish ahead of Perpetuum for really that to be avoided entirely. But the thing is, Perpetuum, all he has to do now is just finish ahead of Medium Pilot. But of course, Medium Pilot finishing outside of the top 10 in that qualifying session means he gets to start on whatever tyre he likes. Perpetuum is locked in on those soft tyres that he used to set that 32.3. Carlsbury then in second place at the very end there, grabbing a front row start for Carlsbury there within 300ths of a second.
Wow.
Where's this Carlsbury been all season?
Absolutely unbelievable, and the top 8 I think are separated by 2.5 tenths of a second, which is something I don't think we've seen for most of the season entirely, which is fantastic to see. As we now go, of course, in toward the formation lap, let's remind you of what we're going to have in terms of championship permutations when we load back, of course, into the lobby. I have a sense, though, of deja vu with everyone leaving the session. We might have to restart it, which I hope we don't for the final race of the season. Let's have a look then at track map, though. 5.5 kilometres in length, 155.5 kilometres race distance, 28 laps, 18 minutes worth of qualifying is done. You can take that off your list. 28 laps now await these drivers out on track. And in terms of tyre deg and in terms of tyre wear, 4-5% per lap normally on the set of mediums around here, maybe even more than that on the set of softs. So it's quite a high tyre deg circuit, and I would imagine you'll see the majority of the guys go for the 2-stop strategy as we go through the race. We should see pit stops, I think, from about lap 6, lap 7, and then if they're going mediums in that middle stint, then they go lap 20, 21, and then they make about 7 or 8 laps out on the set of softs at the end.
There you go. There's your briefing from Mr. James Head as we now bring you onto the formation lap here in the last round of TT Masters League. And I have to say, James, what a journey it's been for these 2 drivers. 21 points now separates them at the top of the table. One of them has to win it tonight, and one of them is in firm control of this race. There you can see Perpetuum in the AlphaTauri. All he really needs to do here is just win this race, and it's been pretty easy for him so far. He's got 2 wins to his name. Okay, that's not so easy, but you know what? He could make it 3 wins here tonight to level Medium Pilot's wins as well. But you know what? It's not over till it's over. Problems can happen for championship leaders. Remember back in 2014, at this very circuit, we thought we were going to have a battle, a championship battle between Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton before Nico Rosberg encountered those mechanical issues that forced him out of what was a very tight and bitter championship battle. But what you have to say, though, James, is it ain't over till it's over.
It really isn't, and if it's anything like this sport in Formula 1, it really isn't over until it is over, to be honest, out on track. Looking at the tyre graphics to the left-hand side, everyone down underneath the timer who qualify on a set of mediums have chosen different tyres. So let me run you through it from softs down to hards. Softs, Killer Blue, the only person on a set of soft compounder tyres. There's the predicted pit stop strategy for Perpetum just coming up. Take that with a bit of pinch of salt, to be honest, in terms of the tyre graphic. But we should see some really great racing out on track. Killer Blue, as I say, on a set of softs. Mediums, a medium pilot, appropriately. Legend and Chapelelli on a set of mediums. And Armadee on a set of hards could be quite interesting. Can he manage a one-stop strategy around here to get to about lap 18, lap 19, and try and risk it on a set of softs to 18? For my final top 3 prediction, by the way, of the season here in Division 1, I'm going to go Perpetum for the second, medium pilot for third.
So medium pilot from 11th to 3rd, says James. How about you in the chat? Who are the flags flying for here tonight? Are you a supporter of the favourite in Perpetum, or are you backing a medium pilot masterclass? We're about to find out here at the final round of TT Masters League, season number 2, division number 1, round number 11 here at the Yas Marina circuit for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We await the lights to signal the start of this championship finale. It is 5 red lights, and we're racing in Yas Marina. What are the starts like? It's a great start there from Perpetum. A great start as well from Matthias as he looks to try and go round the outside of Carlsbury as we make our way in towards turn 1 there. Carlsbury making contact there with the AlphaTauri of Perpetum. How wrong that could have gone for the AlphaTauri. He's managed to get away with it and still leads this way as we make our way now down towards turns 5 and 6 we go. We've got a Renault trying to go up the inside. It's Kern who gets a little bit of contact, gets a huge fishtail, but is able to get away with that, I think, without any damage whatsoever. The important thing is, though, where is medium pilot in this scuffle? Well, he's just behind Killer Blue as we make our way now down the back stretch towards turns 8 and 9 as the cars filter their way through. Always a great picture, this one, as you go down the slight divot down towards turn 8, and we've got the Williams there trying to go up the inside of the Ferrari. It's Recon now on the outside of turn 9. There was a little bit of contact between them, and that meant that Recon had to take to the escape road there. Carlsbury just about holding on to that position. Not done yet. That Williams of Recon wants the position, then he dummies now, diving it down the inside in towards 11, 12 and 13. The two of them make contact again. Keep it clean, lads, as we make our way now in towards turn 14, and it's Recon who gets that position, now moving up into second place. Hard fought battle between them. It's far from over. Recon, though, up now into second place. Looking at the rest of the grid, then we've got Lemon, who's now into 6th place. Had a good start there, managed to keep it clean. Amazing hour then in 5th place. Matthias holding on to 4th place. Medium pilot at the moment is behind Cohen, and well, you've got to remember that medium pilot is on a set of medium tyres, so expect him to go on a very different strategy to the top 10 as we complete the first lap of this championship finale. Perpetum leads the way from Recon, and of course then it's Carlsbury in 3rd place.
Killer Blue, by the way, from 14th on the grid up to 11th position, which is really good stuff out on track. In fact, I think, because of the graphics glitch, I think he's 9th, if I'm not mistaken. Killer Blue. We'll see this correct itself out. I believe medium pilot, I thought I got past on Perpetum for some reason there. Weird graphics glitch. Yeah, Killer Blue's up into 9th from 14th on the grid. A real masterclass through the first lap. If that's how to drive a first lap around Abu Dhabi, Killer Blue just showed you how, if you're on board with me, certainly, as he now tries to hunt down Volbike just in front of him, out on track. There was a little bit of a Constantino coming through 6 and 7. I thought medium pilot had a little bit of damage, but he doesn't. Everyone has got through scot-free. Armadee, the real chief loser of that, he's dropped 2 positions down from the field, and Kern has dropped 5 positions as well. So he's really been the loser out on track.
Yeah, it could be even worse because medium pilot is all over the back of him now as we make our way towards turn 11. Will he try a little bit of a dummy? No, he goes round the outside into the entrance of 11. He'll have the inside for 12. He'll have the outside for 13. But Kern is not willing to risk his front wing there. Medium pilot now takes over 11th place, and Kern is now down 6 positions from his starting position there. As we saw, he got a little bit of a fishtail coming out of what was turn number 5. So he tried to dive down the inside, made contact somewhere. That unsettled the car, and of course from that he lost quite a few positions, but now down into 12th place. He's just got to try and keep his head down now, focus on the entire race. Armadee, meanwhile, of course, he's on the hard tyres, so he's looking to go very long into this first stint of the race, and of course it is Abu Dhabi. We are expecting it to stay dry all the way through. It normally has, and it normally does stay dry all the way through. Lap number 3, DRS will be enabled this lap, and the first time the drivers will be able to use it is that stretch towards turn 8. We're coming up to it very soon as Perpetum leads the way, then Recon. Now, can he stay within DRS detection range? The detection point is just on the entrance in towards turn turn 7. So it looks like to me he's going to have some DRS with him. Yes, he does. There you can see the rear flap opening there on the Williams. So it keeps him within touching distance of the AlphaTauri. But for Papetum at the moment, all he needs to do is just keep it between the white lines, keep a good race, have a good strategy, and that just makes it sound so easy, doesn't it?
Oh, Legends down the inside of Kern, trying to get the move done for 12th, mediums against the source. In fact, Legend, I think, wants a break and get that DRS running down the straight of the F2 pit straight. Recon closing in on Papetum for the race lead as well, but we're on board with this battle for 12th. Legend now to the inside is surely going to wrap up and get this position done, but no, Kern right around the outside trying to get the move done. Chapelelli is trying to go around the outside as well. Legend has to cut across the curb, but Kern somehow hangs on. Those tyres, my friend, on board his car, absolutely shot. I do not know how he is defending these positions out on track. Those are blistering like hell, and it's only 3 laps in.
Well, absolutely. Amazing Hour is right on the back of Matthias as we now make our way through 20 and then through turn 21.
Just heading for 2 minutes.
And Medium Pilot then 11th place right now, right on the back of Ditamo. Killer Blue is into the pit lane then very early on in this race, of course. Soft tyres do not last too long here at Yas Marina. So Medium Pilot on these medium tyres is looking to try and extend this medium stint as much as possible. Legend then picking up the first penalty of the night, a 3-second time penalty, which will be added to the end of his race. Medium Pilot now will be encouraged to try and make this move on the Red Bull going in towards the DRS straight down towards turn 8, and all he can really do is drive as hard and as fast as he can. He's 21 points behind Papetum at the moment. Before we take all this scoring into account, he needs to get ahead of Papetum and then hope that Papetum falls behind. But at the moment he's right into Tamo's slipstream here as we make our way down towards turn 8, but he didn't quite have the pace there to make the move. Legend though is up a position and Recon is out of the race. He's had a crash right on the exit of turn number 9. Now are we going to see a safety car or a full course yellow for that scenario? We're going to see a VSC. So all the drivers then have to stick to a Delta. So Recon's lost it on the exit of turn 9, spun it into the wall, and that is unfortunately his race over. He had such good pace all the way through, all through qualifying, and in the early part of this race he looked on the ball, but unfortunately for him the rear tyres were simply not having it, and he has found the wall and found an early bath out of this season. Well, it's been a shame. He showed some good form there recently, but his night is over and his season that is over too. So VSC conditions mean that the drivers have to follow a set delta. They can't exceed it as much as possible as Carlsbury runs into the back of Papetum there as he tries to then go into the pit lane very early on. He called that very, very late. However, Papetum leads the way then. So what that would have been is Papetum would have been speeding under his delta, would have had to have slowed down, and because Carlsbury may have been slightly further back or whatever the reason was, he was closer but must have had a green delta, and of course you've got to react to the car ahead of you above anything else. Carlsbury just caught out by the fact that Papetum had to take action to avoid a penalty. Legend as well got a penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car, so that will be added on to the end of his, the next pit stop. This was a 5-second pit stop. Papetum still leads the way and 2.1 now ahead of Matthias now that Carlsbury had to come into the pit. Here is Amazing Hour who's in the slipstream of the Mercedes. Will he look to have a move up the inside? No, he won't. I think he's looking for a move in through turn 11 because you've got a huge DRS zone up towards turn 8, then you've got a massive one out of turn 10. Here we go, opens up that DRS. You've got to make sure turn 9 is a really, really good exit and you can try and move through turn 11. Is Amazing Hour close enough? No, not quite there to have a move or stick a nose up the inside. Through all of that though, Crombie and Kern both came into the pits then alongside Carlsbury, who had to of course come in to change that broken front wing, so he had to make that change, and really he'll be frustrated with that one. He was running second at the time after Recon's retirement, but under that virtual safety car he just made contact with the back of Papetum and had to come in. Very late call of course, just managed to get enough steering lock to get that car into the pit lane. But lap number 5 then, Papetum still leads, Matthias second, Amazing Hour in third with Lemon in fourth, Vorbike in fifth, then it's Ditamo in 6th place as we now head our way riding aboard with him over the start finish line and on towards turn 1. Medium Pilot then, that's him in 7th place, so he's got to try and make his way past Ditamo because that is a battle for position. They'll both be on the same strategy. He's got to get past this Red Bull as we head over the hills into turn 4, now down in towards turn 5. Of course, Ditamo in the Red Bull will also have some DRS thanks to Volberg ahead of him. So making our way now in towards turn 7, get the exit here right and try and reduce the wheel spin as much as possible. Volberg then right up ahead is trying to find a way past Twitch Lemon, and look at this, look at the closing speed the McLaren has on the Red Bull. Will he look for a move up the inside into turn 8? He certainly thinks about it, makes the Red Bull think he's thinking about it, but of course dummies out of it because he knows the entrance in towards turn 11 is so much better. But that's a huge moment there for Matthias. He now will have to defend from Amazing Hour, and I don't think that's going to go down too well. No, it's not. Amazing Hour gets the move done, and Matthias just a slight lapse of concentration. Now he's hit Amazing Hour into turn 11. He's missed his braking zone. The Mercedes goes into the back of the Alfa Romeo, and Amazing Hour is all the way down into 7th place. Now there shouldn't be too much damage to that Alfa Romeo, but I wonder what the damage is to the Mercedes. If there's going to be any damage, it's going to be very slight because we can't see any damage. However, he's going to have to keep going out there, and I don't think we are hearing the end of that one. I think that's going to go to the stewards even this late on in the season.
Yeah, definitely will. I think he's got left side end plate damage from what I can see. It's only really slight winglet damage, I think, for Matthias. Volberg, goodness me, gets a bit of a moment coming out the final couple of corners as well. Now Ditamo is going to try and chase him down. Kern's just picked up a 3-second time penalty further down the field. As you alluded to as well, Carlsbury underneath that BSC, obviously making contact with Recon. He's all the way down in 13th position. Combi, 3-second time penalty as well, out on track. I might have been away from the mic, but I can tell what's been going on in this race. Combi 37.1, new fastest lap of the race. And is he going to try and make an impact on the back of Killer Blue? Because Killer Blue was one of the first to pit in under that VSC. How is he going to try and respond? He's got lap pressure tyres. He's about a second off at this stage. How would he try and close in? Speaking of closing in, Volberg now on the back of Lemon, but they're just nullified, I think, with the run of the DRS down the hill and down in towards turn 8. And we're going to see everyone stay in position as Schiaparelli tries to battle with his teammate just in behind.
Yeah, and it's a very big train here for P2 at the moment. P3 as well, battling away. Volberg is looking for a way past. Lemon up ahead of him, and you can see he's all over the back of that Red Bull as we now stay single file all the way through turns 11, 12 and 13. That will not help the driver that needs it most, Medium Pilot, up through the order, because of course he needs to try and get his way through this pack. He can't do that in the middle of a DRS train. He's going to find that really, really tough to have as Recon, of course, leaves the session. Had a retirement there as Ditamo just about slows it down there as we headed in towards turns 18 and 19 there, but just about getting it done there. Medium Pilot, though, still in 6th place. As he makes his way through, he is expecting some of the soft tyre runners to come in. Well, there's one of them. Volberg comes into the pit, and he will now go on to a new set of tyres as we now make our way on towards the 8th lap of this race. 21 to go of this championship. Perpetuum leads by 4 seconds ahead of Matthias, running aboard here with Medium Pilot as we now make our way over the crest through turn 3, then over the crest and then down in towards turn 4. Is this going to be a move for Medium Pilot down the inside of the Red Bull? He's going to go for it in towards 5. He's got him at the outside of turn 6 as he's still trying to hang it in there. Dives it up the inside in towards turn 7, trying to snatch the apex away from the Red Bull. They are going to be running side by side as we make our way on towards the back stretch, and both of them are able to settle that one for now. Ditamo, though, is not done with this one. Medium Pilot, who had the position, look at this, they run side by side now, both with some DRS. Ditamo has the inside line as we make our way in towards turn 8. He'll have the outside line, though, heading in towards turn 9 as they stay side by side. Fair play to them, giving each other the space as they run their way through now in towards the second DRS zone. Watch out for Lemon, who's going to try and make a move on Matthias up ahead as well. 2 battles to focus on, but which to focus on? Lemon gets his way now past Matthias. Ditamo is able to hold on against Medium Pilot, and it's Red Bull, Mercedes, Red Bull, Mercedes.
Yeah, really good stuff, I think, out on track between the lot of them. And Lemon getting past Matthias is crucial because he can now focus on his charge. Now, trying to get through the fields. Matthias is very late on the brakes. I'm not sure if he tried to go into the back of Lemon there. I'm not sure if there was a bit of contact. The camera was quite deceiving. But Ditamo is going around the outside of turn 19. Nearly forced into the wall. And Matthias is really struggling. and now he's got Medium Pilot coming down the inside of him. This is going to be a really dangerous position. Matthias is going to have to try and hunt it out as Detamo gets the move done. He's up into third, and Matthias now is under pressure from his teammate in behind. I had a feeling Matthias actually was going to come into the pit lane. Papetin, by the way, from the lead of the race, is in also, as well as Amazing Hour. So both of them are in, and it's going to be fascinating to see where Papetin rejoins down on track. He's under a set of mediums. I think he's going to be just ahead of Killer Blue, who could actually undercut everyone.
Yeah, he really, really could, as Medium Pilot is now past his teammate. I don't think Matthias made that too difficult. I don't think he's going to make it too difficult for Shapalele behind either. Now, there's a driver we haven't really spoken about at all, currently trying to battle away with Matthias, and Matthias's tyres here have really fallen off the cliff, haven't they? He's got no grip in them, and Shapalele will try a move now to try and go down the inside in towards turn 8. The Alfa Romeo has the inside line going in towards turn 8, and there you can see snatches away the apex and moves into what is now 4th place. Detamo, though, is now on the back of his teammate. I don't think Lemon's going to make that too difficult for his teammate, which he doesn't, allows him to go through.
Papetin's in a right melee here with Killer Blue. He's got the move done on Killer Blue just about, but actually Killer Blue on the outside line is going to run side by side with him now. Papetin is going to try and prove the impossible. He absolutely shoots past Combi on the run down towards turn 11, and Papetin is through on both of them. Combi tries to dive it down the inside, but it's not close enough. Papetin masters Combi and masters Killer Blue in the blinking of an eye. That was literally blinking, you miss it stuff. The German is through and he's up into 7th, but more importantly, he's clear of the traffic.
Yeah, that's going to be the most important thing, isn't it? He had to clear the traffic as quickly as possible. Now that he has done, he's got a great chance of some clean air and great lap times able to be put down. But as Lemon comes into the pit, so too does Shapalele. Now that's on the medium tyres there. I wonder if that's just as clear as it seems, because that seems a little bit too early to pit in on the medium tyres. But he comes in anyway, and are they ready with the front wing? They are. Great spot, Jones. They are ready with that front wing change. On will go another set of medium tyres, so we're expecting the Alfa Romeo to pit in once again, one more time in this race. Of course, you have to use at least 2 different types of compound in the race, and that is a mandatory rule. Detamo, though, leads the way from Medium Pilot. Matthias then in 3rd place. Imadi in 4th. The top 4 still yet to stop in this race. There is Papetin, though, currently, well, if you like, net leader of this race, has stopped, and we are expecting to take the race lead after the first round of pit stops has been completed.
Yeah, Detamo, Medium Pilot, Matthias Imadi still yet to come into the pit lane. Just having a look at the penalty situation as well, as now Legend is under pressure from Amazing Hour, and the Australian just absolutely sails on by. So that is literally blink and you miss it. Easy move from Amazing Hour, and he's through and he's up into 10th. He has got 3-second time penalty along with Imadi and also Kern. Combi and Legend have got 6 seconds worth of time penalties, so they're going to be really under pressure, I think, in terms of the penalties towards the end of the race. If they keep picking up more penalties, they're going to be losing time towards the end of the race. The penalties will get added on right at the end of the race, and we'll see them drop down the order. Legend is under a lot of pressure, though, from Twitch Lemon just in behind, and now Lemon going around the outside of turn 15. This is absolutely impossible stuff from Lemon, as he's absolutely mastered him, or has he? Legend's down the inside line through 17, but what a move by Lemon, ran the outside. It was a bit of a slow exit really from Legend on the exit of turn 14, around the triple right-hander. Lemon is through, and he's up into 11th position, and Detamo and Matthias dropping down the field because they're both in the pit lane.
Well, here we go, the Medium Pilot leading the way. Amazing Hour then sets the fastest lap of the race, 36.7. That was briefly held by Papetin, but, well, Amazing Hour had other ideas. And, of course, Amazing Hour just seems to put in these amazing results. I mean, he got caught up in the incident between himself and Matthias in the entrance in towards turn 11. It put him from 3rd all the way down to 7th in that train. But just shows you how much pace he's got. Just shows you how resilient the Australian is.
It really comes to show how resilient he is. He's 2 seconds off the back of Carlsbury. He's got 4 lap fresher tyres compared to Carlsbury as well. And remember, Carlsbury pitted in because of that VSC, because of that front wing change that he had to make with Recon and that contact. He's in 7th, and Amazing Hour, considering he got belted by Matthias up the rear end and lost 5 positions, he's still in the mix possibly for top 3. I hate to believe it, and I hate to contradict myself, but he is actually in contention for a possible top 3 finish later on in the race, which, if you have been a follower of me throughout the season, you know that I don't get many predictions right. Currently, it's not looking too shabby, I think.
Well, Medium Pilot and Papetin, not a single penalty yet And I know that's encouraging the curse of the commentator, and I know it will happen in the next 10 seconds, but there's nothing you can do to stop it now. Medium Pilot, though, leading the way. Imadi in second place, Perpetum third. Combi there is in fourth place. Now, Imadi started on those hard tyres. He's yet to stop in this race, but he is looking to go a long way into this race. That's really the last bit of traffic that Perpetum has to clear as he now makes his way in towards turn 1. But lap 12 of this race, then, we still have lots of action to bring you. More than half the race to go as Lemon sets the fastest lap of the race. 36.4 from the Red Bull driver, and he now holds the fastest lap of the race for now.
Totamo just picking up another penalty there as well. It didn't look like a penalty to me. It looked like he ran all four wheels off the track though on review back. So I think Totamo now has got, if I just see, that's the first penalty actually, so 3 seconds. I thought he had more than that, but that's my mistake. Perpetum closing in on Ima D. He is really hunting him down, and look where this is going to go. This will be Perpetum up into second place. Ima D does not want to fight that, the Scotsman. And the German through. He's got one hand on the crown. Has he got two hands on the crown towards the end of this race as well?
Oh, Lemon's run into the back of the Alfa Romeo of Amazing Hour now. Amazing Hour's been hit from behind twice in this race. This time, though, going in towards turn 8. And I have to say there, Lemon just missed his braking point, hits the back of the Alfa Romeo there, and Amazing Hour drops now down into 10th place. Everything that could go wrong in an Amazing Hour's race is going wrong right now. He's got those penalties, but I know him. He's not going to let that get him down again. He's got those penalties, but he'll press on as well. 3.2 seconds behind the battling Red Bulls, who don't seem to be working together particularly at the moment. But I wonder, Lemon here, will he have a little bit of front wing damage? If we can see it, of course. We might be able to not see it, but it might still be there. It might be that pesky light green wing damage that can just about affect performance, but not enough to justify a full loss of pit stop here. 24 to 26 seconds is around about the time you lose here in the pit stop, and that's if you have a perfect pit stop. Amazing Hour, though, comes into the pits, and what's this going to be for? He's to retire from the race. That's unlike him, but he will call it a day. He'll park the car in the pit lane and call that season the end. But I have to say, though, it's been a pretty good season for the Alfa Romeo driver, considering he joined halfway through this season.
Matthias and Kern have come together coming through turn 4, and it's a VSC out on track, and Matthias has lost his front wing. I've just caught the end of that, so I don't know what happened. Both of them looked like they were going side by side. And Kern and Matthias, it might have just been the case of the Goldstein system failing. I'm really caught that late, but both of them ran through turn 4, and both of them with damage. So unfortunate as Kern, I think, is going to try and let through Matthias. Has he got a penalty by any chance? Let's see. But I caught on board with that so late, so I'm sorry, Tom, for giving you a bit of a hard knock to try and get on board with that quite late, because I didn't know what happened there, to be honest.
Well, Medium Pilot, though, still leads the way. Virtual safety car, second full course yellow of the night as we make our way through Perpetum. 6.6 behind Medium Pilot. And for Medium Pilot, though, he just needs to try and extend the gap to everybody behind as much as possible. And he can't do that under a full course yellow. He can't do that under this virtual safety car. What will he do from here? Will he pit in? No, he'll stay out for yet another lap as we are now back under green flag racing, and Medium Pilot caught that right just before the apex of turn 21, so he couldn't quite accelerate just yet, and he would have lost a little bit of time to Perpetum, who was just coming in towards turn 20 and could accelerate for a little bit. So a little bit of time lost for Medium Pilot, and that is a little bit of a problem there as Perpetum now picks up a 3-second time penalty. The championship leader, that'll be added to the end of his race time. There's nothing he can do about that right now. He's just got to carry on and see what happens towards the end of this race. But yeah, unfortunate from Amazing Hour there. It's not like him to retire like that, but he has done. He's parked the car and called it a season. As I was about to say, James, it's not been a bad season at all.
It really hasn't been a bad season for Mason Hour at all, and he can take those wins and those podium finishes that he's got and really take that on board for next season, because it's going to be fascinating to see how in a full season he's going to get. Here comes Lemon on the back of Carlsbury, running down the straight. Killer Blue just ahead of these guys as well, and Lemon down the inside and towards turn 8. Easy as you like. Is the other Red Bull going to have a go at Carlsbury as well? Datamo right on the back. Carlsbury gets a little bit of a knock. Oh, nearly runs Datamo into the wall almost. Lemon's closing in on Killer Blue. Volby closing in on his teammate. Combi just in the foreground, a shot as well. I think he's gone right around the outside of him into turn 11. Great Great move by Volbike. He's through and he's up in the 4th. Datamo is through on Carl through and he's up into 8th. I had to pick one battle. Right on board with Datamo. He's through and he's up to 8th. But I saw Volbike going around the outside of Combi and he's through and he's up into 4th position. Killer Blue's tyres really shot. Oh, and Lemon's gone into the back of Killer Blue. Lemon really not having a good race out on track, just going for over-aggressive moves, and now Killer Blue's lost the position to him. He has to give that one back, if not a penalty, and a slap wrist is definitely, probably going to come his way from the stewards.
Well, he's carrying on for now. Killer Blue is in 7th place. Datamo now is in 8th as he now tries to get that position. Imadi into the pit lane, so I'm assuming he's going to go onto a set of medium tyres and get those to the end of this race. Yellow flags in sectors 1 and 2. That's Medium Pilot.
Medium Pilot.
It's Medium Pilot who's around then, going across turn
Left
3.
Side.
Now, what is that? That's, yeah, he's just lost the car completely. Yeah, he has. So what I'm assuming that is the rear tyres have said you're having a laugh. They haven't got as much grip as they used to, and as you climb over the crest at turn 3, it can invite, if the tyres are worn enough, that wheel spin that you just so desperately don't need. He's got front wing damage. He's not going to battle anymore, at least for the rest of this lap. Well, for Medium Pilot, that is not good news at all. That is the absolute last thing he wanted in that race, and, well, now that job becomes even harder for him.
It is so unfortunate for Medium Pilot. I think it now puts him out of contention. Datamo, by the way, is going to look and try and get 2 moves done on Medium Pilot. And now on Killer Blue, look at the speed he's got going around the outside in towards turn 11, similar to what we saw with Volbike and Combi a lap ago. Brilliant move by Datamo on fresher tyres. He's through and he's up into 5th. Medium Pilot dropping down the field with that damage, of course. So unfortunate, and I hate to be in absolute pain by saying this. I think that now puts Perpetuum on that championship podium, but anything can happen. We're only halfway through. Anything can happen in Abu Dhabi, and certainly anything can happen in Formula 1.
Yeah, we have 13 laps to go now as Perpetuum starts lap number 16 here in Abu Dhabi. Volbike is 4.2 seconds behind. Killer Blue is into the pit lane. The Racing Point taken to the pit lane for another time in this race, and I'm expecting him to go onto a set of medium tyres, which he will, and that'll get him to the end of the race. Now, what does Medium Pilot go on to? He goes onto a set of hards. Yeah, way too early to go on a set of softs. That was his plan, mediums to softs. But, well, now that's the strategy he wanted to go for. It hasn't worked. He's lost the rear end going through turn 3. He's found the wall, and now he'll have to go on a set of hard tyres to get himself to the end of the race. What Medium Pilot will be hoping for is a safety car. The only problem with that is that if there is a safety car, Perpetuum will do the exact same thing that Medium Pilot is thinking of and go onto a set of soft tyres towards the end. In fact, half the field will probably go onto that as well. Datamo then is right behind his teammate in Lemon, and these two, well, they've thrown team orders out the window. They are battling here for position. They're not going to let that go as Datamo has the inside line. And just as I say that, I think Twitch Lemon does let that move go. Datamo then is up into 4th place.
Yeah, didn't want to fight that at all. The guy at Datamo was on a lap fresher tyres as well. I'm a D, by the way, is fighting with Kern, running down in towards turn 11 again. I'm a D through on Kern. My camera's just messing up there slightly, but I'm a D's through and he's up into 8th. And he's on a fresh set of mediums, and he can try and get those tyres to the end. Now, with I'm a D, actually, he pitted in on 14, 15 lap old hards, which I think was the distress signals for Medium Pilot anyways with that rear, because he lost the rear end on 14 lap old mediums, and you're seeing Combi come into the pits on 10 lap old mediums. So this tyre deg that I mentioned about earlier is so high. These guys are not making what even I said on the formation lap, which is absolutely unbelievable. Combi, by the way, now into the pit lane to put on a set of mediums. He'll be going to the end of the race, and he'll be coming out in clear air. So I think he'll be coming out well ahead of Killer Blue when he comes out the pit lane. But last famous words for me. He is going to be ahead.
Oh, that's a huge one. That's a huge one. Well, Killer Blue is now making his way through turn 2, through turn 3, and Combi does re-emerge ahead of the Racing Point. So he now is in 8th place. That's his final stop of the race. He'll be looking to go to the end now. Kern also into the pits there. He showed a quick turn of pace at the start of this race, but from the very first lap, it was just not going to go his way, was it? You could tell. Medium Pilot, though, down in 11th place. Well, this will be enough for 9 points in this race. Unfortunately, that's a 21-point gap difference right now between our leader in Perpetuum, so that gap would go up to 42 points. So he just needs to try and now save some face as he opens up the DRS on the back of Legend. I don't think Legend's going to put up too much of a fight here. Medium Pilot breezes past down the back stretch, and he has got the move done now down into turn 8, and that's now 10 points on the board for Medium Pilot as it stands. Again, he needed to be ahead of Perpetuum and ahead by some way. It was already going to be a mountain to climb, and just in a race where you want everything to go your way, for Medium Pilot, that spin has done anything but.
Yep, gap now 41 points with that overtake as well. Medium Pilot getting the move done on Legend. He's through and he's up into 10th position. Carlsbury, the latest one to come into the pit lane to put on what I would assume is going to be a fresh set of mediums, because the around here in Abu Dhabi, it is so difficult to try and get tyre wear towards the end of the race, especially on a set of soft compounder tyres. So if these guys were trying to go onto a set of softs, they better think again about it, to be honest, because they're not going to get to the end from this point onwards. I think I said 7 laps. I think that was me being a bit over the top with that. Maybe 4, 5, 6 laps before these tyres really go off here at Abu Dhabi. And this might be the quietest point that we've got in the season so far, as Dotamo is chasing down Volbike. Volbike, by the way, has been the real chief gainer, I think, out of all of this. He pitted under the VSC. Dotamo pitted later on after the VSC, and now he is going to hunt down the Dutchman just ahead of him out on track. Here comes the German, right around the outside. Job done. We've seen so many moves like that tonight. Dotamo through, and he's up into 2nd position. But 3-second time penalty, how crucial is that going to be at the end of the race?
Yeah, I think with 11 laps to go, it's not going to be too bad for him. He's got plenty of time to make that up, and plenty of time indeed is what he has. Kern, meanwhile, is on the back of Legend. He thought about a move up the inside of turn 8, but thinks better of it. Fresh medium tyres, of course. He could have an increased, or a decreased, I should say, stopping distance, but even he's not going to try that move on Legend. He will now, down in towards turn 11. He's got some DRS here, and you can see there Legend is not going to put up a fight with that one either. As you can see then, Kern now moves up into P11. A little bit of a lock up there in towards turn 11. I think that was just for the cameras.
I think it was just for the cameras, to be honest. Kern through, and he's up into 11th, and he's on a fresh set of mediums. He will probably get to the end of the race on those tyres, and he can now pull away from Legend and try and close in on Medium Pilot, which is going to be a fascinating battle to watch out for. I've just been informed, by the way, we're going to have a very special guest joining us after this race. I'm not revealing who it is and who it might be, but you will see at the end. Everyone will see at the end as well. Volbike right on the back of Dotamo, 9/10 of a second separating, and hopefully as well we can get the top 3 interviewers in as well and see what they made of their season if we can. Not sure who's going to be on the podium, I think, at this rate. I'm not sure who's going to have a mic or who's not. So we might not get any podium interviews at the end of this. Matthias has just picked up a 3-second time penalty, and Volbike trying to chase down Dotamo has just ran one, has now lost essentially the DRS to him. Lemon in behind is closing, but I can't see him closing up enough. Essentially think of it at this point in the race as 2 races. Perpetuum, Dotamo, Volbike, Lemon, Chapelali still yet to come into the pit lane to make a last stop. I'm a D, Combi and the likes in behind. Apart from Legend, who might not get to the end, they will be going to the end of the race. All of those on a set of mediums, plus Medium Pilot and maybe Legend.
Well, Perpetuum, though, is coming around the final couple of corners now, making his way in towards turn 21, and he'll start lap 20 of the race. 9 laps to go now in the TT Masters League season, the 2nd season drawing to a close, and Perpetuum, well, barring any sort of miracle in terms of Medium Pilot, has this one wrapped up. But of course we still have those 9 laps to run. Anything can happen in them. Pretty much an evenly spaced out field. The closest battle is the battle for 12th place between Legend and Matthias. Matthias on 4-lap-old medium tyres. Legend is on 7-lap-old hard tyres. Both of them now trying to get to the end of this race. Carlsbury, though, I mean, fastest lap of the race right now, 35.7. It's been a case of where has Carlsbury been this season? He's come bang into form right at the final round of the season.
Not to mention he DNF'd last night in CWC as well, so it's really good to see Carlsbury showing some form, I think, right at the end of the season. And he could be another one that could be in around the mid-pack battle if he signed up next season, of course, for Season 3, which does start next week. Unbelievable. I know, no break in TTML, but back to the old days here on League Racing TV, to be honest, where we have a really quick turnaround. No pre-season. All of the divisions are going to be predetermined after all results are finalised and things like that. So I would imagine the weekend is probably where you'll find out some of the division sign-ups. But for Division 1, I think, when Division 2 ends on Thursday, I think that's when you'll find out who's going to be in the top tier. Matthias is now through on Legend, running down after I waffled on for about 30 seconds down the straight there. Matthias through, and he's up into 12th. Legend is going to try and fight him back, but the Austrian is through on the Dane, and he's through and he's up into 12th. Medium Parlour, Perpetuum and Dotamo and Volbike all into the pit lane, while Lemon continues.
Yep, so they're all in then for their final stop, and Perpetuum going on to a set of softs to get himself to the end of the race and also to go for that fastest lap bonus point. Of course, at the moment, he has pole position. He currently has a win on the cards. What he wants to do to finalise this championship and assert that dominance is get fastest lap in the final race as well. He re-emerges. He's going to rejoin ahead of Combi, which he does in the 3rd place. Legend then has a bit of a moment then. He's hit the wall, and that is on the exit there of turn 14. So not 14? Great for him. Oh, sorry, I've turned 19. Oh, I'm going mad. I'm absolutely going mad. I was seeing the map and I thought, that's too early to be 14 as I said that, but oh well, never mind. So Legend then comes into the pits then. He's obviously lost the rear end and will now have to come into the pits. Front wing change will be a necessity. And surely soft tyres to get him to the end of the race, and at least now he'll try and have a chance and a crack at fastest lap of the race. Remember that I believe the fastest lap race bonus point can go to anyone on the field as long as they get a checkered flag, and any points are up for grabs as long as you do make it to the checkered flag. So even though there are points up for grab for 14th and 15th place, Amazing Hour and Recon have since retired from the race, therefore they're no longer eligible to score any points in this race. Riding on board with Dotamo then, he's just re-emerged from the pit lane on a set of soft tyres, and the first thing he has to do is get past the racing point of Killer Blue, who's on 4-lap old medium tyres, assuming now he's going to get those tyres to the end of the race. So this is a battle between them now towards the end of this race, but you'd think Dotamo on soft tyres, fresh soft tyres mind you, the fastest tyres possible, there can only be one way this battle goes. But of course, passing at Abu Dhabi isn't very easy, especially through the technical sections of sectors 2 and 3. But we now make our way on through the start-finish straight, now on towards the first turn once again. Lap 22 of this race, 7 to go, 6 and a bit if you're picky. Lemon currently leads the way from Imadi, but they're both yet to stop in this race. Perpetuum is only around 10 seconds back from Lemon, so
he's going to go for it.
Handed back to him. Here we go then, Dotamo looking to move down in towards turn 5. He's got the apex, he snatched it, but there you can see the race point still on the inside there, and he just about makes it through. Look at this Volbike now on the left hand side, takes full advantage. He says, Dotamo, you made that move easy for me. He can now try and focus on the Red Bull ahead. DRS will be wide open for the McLaren, but not for Dotamo, at least down the first DRS straight. Of course, there is a detection point on the exit of turn 9, so Dotamo once again will not have DRS, and this is Volbike's chance to try and get a move on the Red Bull.
And he will get the move on the Red Bull if he's got a very quick car underneath him. Of course, McLaren are going to be reformatting that relationship with Mercedes in 2021 as well, so Volbike needs to try and get the move done. However, commentator made to look an absolute mug here tonight as he doesn't get the move done running down in towards turn 11, which I was expecting him to because he did have the pace. Volbike, luckily though, has no penalties out on track. Probably the final penalties update before we go towards the end of the race. 9 seconds worth of Imadi, 3 seconds worth now for Perpetuum, now brings him back to 6 seconds. I complicated that myself there. 6 seconds for Perpetuum, 6 seconds for Combi, 3 seconds for Dotamo, 6 seconds for Cohen, 3 seconds for Matthias, and 6 seconds for Legend, who of course came into the pit lane to repair his front wing after that crash coming out of turn 19, not turn 14. I'm sure Kevin will not live that one down at the end of this stream. Volbike though, right on the back of Dotamo. Almost looks like Dotamo got the pace coming through the first and the third sectors, but through the middle sector, where the DRS straights are, Volbike really closing up. If I was in their situation, though, if I was in Dotamo's situation, I'd be trying to close up on Combi, bring Volbike with me, make it a three-way battle for fourth.
Well, here comes Perpetuum then on Imadi, moves to the left-hand side of the track, and there you go, the move has been done, and now Perpetuum moves up into second place, but of course he's got 6 seconds worth of penalties, so for Imadi, that's not over just yet, as he now makes his way through turn 9, and onwards we go through turn 10, so now the gap between Lemon and Perpetuum, remember how I said about 2 minutes ago that the gap was 10 seconds, that gap's come down to 5.6 seconds, so that's the huge amount of pace difference you have on a fresh set of soft tyres compared compared to a worn set of mediums.
Volbike trying to go around the outside of Datamo again, has a look, but not quite. And the new TTG man who recently joined the team, rejoined the team, I think, back in a couple of weeks, last couple of weeks, really beginning to show what he's made of in terms of the pace. Datamo, Combi, 4th, 5th and 6th. Literally what I said about 45 seconds ago, where Datamo would bring Volbike along into the back of Combi, has literally just happened, and now we get a three-way battle, for 4th, 5th and 6th position out on track. Killer Blue and Carlsberry not too far away either, but everyone wearing mediums. These guys are on wearing softs, so the softs are inevitably going to be quicker at this stage. Lemon, 3.5 seconds. Are we going to see like a Dill Warren type in Hockenheim back in TTL days?
Well, we could do. Datamo here, looking for a move then. He has to go the long way around in towards turn 4.
Oh, what a move!
Look at that! What a move from Datamo then. He just absolutely sent that one there. Fresher tyres, less of a stopping distance. Didn't matter. Datamo gets the move done, and now Volbike here will want to try and get past his teammate. There you can see, I don't think Combi made that too difficult for his teammate, but look at that time that Volbike lost. The fact that Datamo got the move done in towards turn 5 meant that he gets that little bit of an advantage, a little bit of an extension to try and get away from the McLaren driver, but hasn't quite worked out that time. But that was a great idea. He just absolutely sent that one.
There was honestly about a foot room to spare with that move as well. Lemon's just picked up a 3-second time penalty. He's still got an advantage over Papetum because Papetum's got 6 seconds, of course, now, rather than 3 seconds. But honestly, I was on board with Volbike for that move. And Datamo just sent it all the way around the outside. Honestly, there was about a foot to spare between the cars, so we could have easily just came across him a little bit further and moved a little bit left and still complete that move done. Really, really clean move. Honestly, that might be one of the best moves I've seen all season.
Well, we've got 5 laps to go. We're now 4 laps to go as Lemon leads the way then. Of course, he's trying to go to the end of the race on these medium tyres. Papetum is in 2nd place. 1.3 seconds is the gap, but you've got to take those penalties into account. 1st place has 3 seconds worth of penalties. 2nd place in this race has 6 seconds. And 3rd place has 9 seconds. Datamo, though, 3 seconds worth of penalty, unfortunately breaks the pattern. But 3 seconds does mean that he has a chance here to go up into potentially 2nd place, but he's got to get a move on.
He has got to get a move on for sure, and looking in behind, Combi's just dropping off the back. Volbike, Datamo really going to come into play. Looking at this though, Imadi's got 9 seconds, Papetum's got 6 seconds. Papetum now really on the back of Lemon, literally came on board with him there, and he's right on the back of him. And now Papetum's going to try and look for the move done. He's got about 55% of ERS now to use up, running down the straight, and you know where this one's going to go, I think. He switches it to the inside, now he dummies it to the outside. This is brave from Papetum, and this could be a champion's move. Brilliant stuff by Papetum. He is through and he's into the lead of the race, absolutely centred around the outside. Lemon was expecting him to come down the inside. I wonder though if he's just cut an illegal overtake, because he's just let Lemon, I think, back through. So Lemon now through and he's into the lead of the race. But I think Papetum might have picked up an illegal overtake because he was on the right hand side of the curb, and that might just mean that he had to give up the position. But good try, Papetum.
Yeah, good try, but Lemon did just enough so that Papetum had to leave the circuit to get the move done. He's given that position back, but here we go. You can see he's got a good move and a good exit out of turn 21. Now in towards turn 1, Papetum up the inside, gets the move done and moves ahead of the Red Bull of Lemon then. So he's got 3 laps to extend his gap to Lemon to 3 seconds and beyond. Can he do it then? 3 laps, a second a lap? Surely it's possible.
It is surely possible. Datomo's around the outside of Imadi as well. Imadi picks up a penalty, but Datamo, he likes that turn 5 and 6 chicane. He's gone all the way around the outside this time on Imadi, and he's through and he's up into 3rd. How crucial is this going to be for Volbike as well, as he's now got Imadi being hunted down. Lemon, by the way, is continuing on 15 Apple mediums. Don't be surprised if those tyres puncture towards the end of the race. Volbike now just about got the drag on Imadi, running down in towards turn 8, gets the move done. Up into 4th he goes, and the Dutchman really impressive in terms of his pace and in terms of overtaking as well out on track. Papetum now a second clear of Lemon. He's only got 2 more seconds to find in terms of a buffer zone to try and get that over Lemon. But the only thing that is going to set him back, those tyres are going to begin to fall off the cliff really heavily, and those tyres are going to be inevitably worn right at the end of the race. Judging by what I've just said, though, Papetum's proven me wrong.
Well, Medium Pilot riding on board with him. He wanted to try and move down in towards turn 11 on Kern. That's for 10th place, but no way through for the Mercedes. Decided to hold back and see if he can try again at a later corner. Currently in 11th place in this race with only a handful of laps to go. Meanwhile, Papetum crossing the line in to start the penultimate lap of this race, and already that gap between himself and Lemon is 2.5 seconds. Now the threat comes from Ditamo. I think Lemon here has surely got to try and let his teammate go. Or will he try and battle on for second place? Because there could be a win on the cards here for Red Bull, which is what they want this season. However, Ditamo's going to have to try and get past his teammate the old-fashioned way by trying to get a move done. Papetum now extends his lead over Lemon, but to 3.3 seconds. So Ditamo here will want to get this move done sharpish. On the exit he goes. He gets a little bit of DRS as well to help him down the long back straight towards turn 8. But here comes Volbeig, who sees Lemon lift off. Will he now try and move down the inside in towards turn 8? You bet he will. Down the inside it goes. Late braking as he dared, and up into third place he will go. Down in towards turn 8. He saw that coming from a mile away and absolutely nailed that overtake. Great move from Volbeig.
Centred, and he's through, but now Lemon's going to come back at him down in towards turn 11. Knowing Lemon, he is going to go absolutely sending it down the inside, and that is just not needed, I think, at all. Volbeig picks up a 3-second time penalty. That'll be removed. That's an extenuating circumstance if I've ever seen one. Papetum now 3.3 seconds clear, so he's ahead of Dirtamo, and he's got the gap, so he's going to be winning this out on track. Medium Pilot, by the way, has just gone through on Kern, running down in towards turn 11. That he has done. Volbeig has got 5-second penalty for gaining 1 place. To be honest, when you get dive bombed down the inside like that, that's really unfair.
Yeah, I can see the 5-second being removed. Normally with 3 seconds, they're untouched, whatever happens. However, Papetum now starts the final lap of this race, and you have to be honest, right now, it's looking really good with only 5.5 kilometres to go. For Papetum here, 2 wins could become 3 wins. He's already made 2 pole positions become 3 pole positions. He's had 5 podiums up until this point. He could make it 6 tonight. And of every race he started, he has finished. Papetum here now only has around 4 kilometres to go until he can try and take that crown off of Medium Pilot and be crowned another champion. However, there's still that distance to cover. There's still that lap to go.
My God.
He's just got to keep it all together and all under control.
Combi down the inside of Ima D. Is he going to try and lunge it down on Lemon as well? No, not quite. He might not even get both of them here. He might not even get one of them, as he's forced out wide by Ima D, nearly into the wall. Goodness me, that was tight. But Combi rejoins track just about ahead of him. Out on track, but Ima D is still there. He's still fighting for position, the Scotsman, after a CWC win. Last night he tries to go around the outside, but Combi's through and he's up into 5th. Good management there by Combi, and I think there was a little bit of front wing damage coming off the back there of Ima D. But Papetum coming around the final couple of corners. I'll let you take it away, Kieran.
Well, the fireworks will certainly be on display here as Papetum will come across the line here, round the final couple of corners, and around turn 21, Papetum Mobile is going to be your Season 2 TT Masters League champion, crowned here in Abu Dhabi. The challenger becomes the champion. Fantastic season for Papetum, thoroughly deserved. 3 wins, 3 podiums, 3 wins, 3 pole positions, and 6 podiums.
Killer Blues on the podium, finishes 3rd with no penalties. Absolutely unbelievable. And look at Ditamo, 300ths a second off Papetum for the race win. A 10th for Chapelelli off Lemon, 2 tenths for Volbeig off Chapelelli. Maybe the closest finish we've seen all season.
And that's no doubt helped out by the penalties there. But yes, Ditamo grabs 2nd place. Killer Blue on the podium for another time this season. Lemon in 4th, although I will not be surprised if he's under investigation towards the end of this race. So that 4th place is definitely provisional. But Chapelelli there in 5th place. Volbeig in 6th. Carlsbury in 7th. Combi in 8th. Medium Pilot, the Season 1 champion, will have to hand over his crown as he finishes in 9th place. And it was always a mountain to climb for him in this race. and he made it even more so when he spun up the rear tyres on the exit of turn 3 and hit the wall with his front wing. But all of that doesn't really matter at the end of the day. For one driver in the Alpha Tauri, the challenger becomes the champion. Pepetta Mobile wins his third Grand Prix and the TT Masters League Season 2 crown. An achievement like no other. He only becomes the second champion here in TT Masters League and stops a potential title defence in just the second season of running. Pepetta has thoroughly deserved this title here. Dominant, podium setters, pace setter, you name it, he was it. An absolutely brilliant performance all season long from Pepetta.
Yeah, fantastic result from Pepetta. He is truly crowned TTML Season 2 champion. And now it's ones each between Pepetta and Medium Pilot going into next season. Who doesn't want to see the third tail in this saga here in TTML?
Well, they do say things come in threes, and you'll have to tune in to Season 3 next season. That is providing, of course, both drivers are here next season. But to take you through the official, unofficial results of the final round of TT Masters League Season number 2, Pepetta takes his third race win of the season. Detamo from 10th place on the grid finishes in second place. Killer Blue from 14th finishes in third. Lemon in fourth, Chapalele in fifth, Volbike in sixth with Carsbury in seventh, Combi 8th, Medium Pilot there in ninth, and Imadi rounding out the top 10. Cohen in 11th, Matthias in 12th, Legend in 13th place. Two retirements in this race. Amazing Hour retiring on his own accord in the pit lane, and Recon crashing out of the race entirely. But that brings our season to an end, and to an end brings us a champion. Pepetta Mobile wins TT Masters League Season 2 Drivers Champion. And of course, we can't go much further than to say that yes, Mercedes now have been crowned Constructors' Championships. That is confirmed. That was yet to be confirmed in this race, but they have done it. So a big congratulations to Mercedes, and of course a big congratulations to Pepetta. Commiserations, of course, to the Mercedes driver, or one of the Mercedes drivers in Medium Pilot. I mean, he gave it his all out there. He tried to push those medium tyres as far as they could, but at the end of the day, James, the rears just didn't want to play anymore.
They didn't want to play anymore, and that is just really the twist in the tail. Here at Abu Dhabi, that's what the track is like, and that's what drivers come to hate this track for, I think. We love it as commentators, but trust me, these drivers really do hate this track. I'm going to pass it back over to Kieran, though, as I'm going to invite in a very special guest.
Points behind Amazing Hour, so there's a very, very good chance that Killer Blue has just wrapped up third place in the championship. That is all to be confirmed, and to get the official results, please do follow the league on Twitter. It's TTML_F1, and the official results will be posted once all the stewards' inquiries have been satisfied and resolved. And, well, oh, I know who it is now. I know who it is now. Well, I assume he's your guest, James. Why don't you introduce him?
It is, of course, the TTML head commentator from the end of this season, to be honest, as I take over my new role, of course, next season. It is Mr. Andy Campbell. Andy, how you doing? Doing well. Honestly, doing well. It is fantastic to have you here, and we, as a collective here at TTML, want to wish... Oh, your voice is not set to share, Andy. The joys of technology on PS4, everyone.
Well. I haven't missed you at all, Andy. I really haven't. Well, if you are just hearing silence, Andy is talking to us. He's just trying to get that problem fixed. But James, whilst he's doing that, apparently he's done. Can we hear you now, Mr. Andy?
Hope so.
Okay.
Mr. Badger will tell us.
I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will. Well, Andy, it's fantastic to have you alongside us for this final round. First of all, how are you doing? How's it been?
Perfect, good. Yes, greetings everyone. Hello. I'm doing all right. I'm dodging away, as I would say. It's been interesting, that's for sure. But I had to drop along tonight because obviously, Mr. McGinley, we started. But I checked it. Season 11, round 14. Me and you were the first time on the old TTL. It was that far back, yes. Seems like a long time ago. And obviously, I know you're still going to be around League Racing TV for the next couple of months with EML, the Masters League. But I know tonight's your last TTML. So, considering that, I had to pop along and have a wee chat because most people know, for me, Kieran was and is the voice of TTL, TTML. In my opinion, because that's all I've known from the top division for so long was Mr. McGinley, and being alongside him's obviously improved my game as well. And obviously it's a shame that he's going to be disappearing from our airwaves, so to speak, here on League Racing TV on TTML, but of course he's off to do some fantastic and well-deserved things with the Esports Challenger Series. He's been doing some on-track commentaries as well in the past year too, and of course AOR top commentator as well, which he was alongside me until I needed to take a step back for health reasons. But yeah, I had to pop along tonight with it being your last stream. We've got so much history from this league, so to speak, albeit on a Thursday night under TTL name, and I just had to come along and say hello and just say a few words in your last night. I couldn't let it be without it, you know. The old duo back together one last time for a wee bit, yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know why, but every time I think of our time together, one bit that springs up to me was it was a TTL race, and I believe it would have been round about possibly season 15, and it was the race where half the field were taken out in the first lap.
Belgium.
Yes, Belgium, yes. I remember that one very well, and I remember speaking to you at the end of that one and saying, wow, that was a tough one, but we had just enough to talk about to get us to the end of quite a long 22 laps at the end of it. But I have to say, yeah, it was a pleasure to be alongside you, and of course, hopefully we'll get to hear you back on the airwaves very soon, of course, on your terms and no one else's. But it's an honour to hear you again. It's an honour to speak to you again on a stream. And yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, it was one of the first solid partnership that I had going into, you know, commentary. So I mean, to have that sort of chemistry going on and whatnot, yeah, it was fantastic and nothing short of. And it was always going to be a void to fill, a big hole to fill, big shoes to fill when you left and took a step back. But I think James, who's taken over my role now as the lead commentator, has done absolutely splendidly. And I know now that me stepping back, Masters League, Esports Masters League, is in very, very good hands alongside James. But yeah, I mean, thank you for coming along, Andy. I really wasn't expecting this. I would have prepared more if I had.
See, that's what I'm always good at. Since when did I ever give you preparation in anything? Come on, I used to always throw everything at you. You never knew what to say. Got to keep it going, my friend. Come on. No, I mean, I agree with you on the chemistry part. I had such good chemistry with so many people in the commentary box, but me and you we just clicked from day one. I mean, people remember the old goodbye that we always did. People used to think we rehearsed that. Nope, it was never rehearsed. Not even once.
Not even once. I think even at the very start, when I said that we were going to do it, and I think I forgot to brief you on it. So I'd said it, and it was like, oh no, I've actually forgotten to tell you it. So ever since then, I've made sure every new commentator I've come across, I say, right, this is how I end the stream. Don't get caught out. So
No, it was so good, and I remember that bale jump race as well because what was it, up Eau Rouge and over Radio, and we had 6 cars left, and I went looking for trivia on the internet just to fill the gaps in. That was you have to
I did
prepare
wonder
for
where you got it
everything,
from.
but oh yeah, I mean some of it was in my head, but I had to go and check some of the answers. I mean, I'm walking Wikipedia, I may be, but I need to make sure I'm giving you the truth while I'm speaking it as well. Come on, but we've had some crackers. It will obviously be a shame to not hear you on League Racing TV, as I say, apart from EML up until when that finishes. But what you're doing now with the challengers alongside Justin, your real life commentaries, AOR F1, it's richly deserved for, in my opinion, one of the best commentators out there. And obviously it's great as well. We've got James, who's absolutely fantastic as well, and we've got a great list of commentators here on the channel, so we are definitely in good hands. But not hearing you every Tuesday or Thursday as it originally was is going to be a bit strange, but we're all the better for having had you commentating on the channel and on the leagues, and I'm sure the racers agree just as much as well.
I hope they do. I hope they haven't been bored of me. I've been doing this for 3 years. I'm sort of hoping they're not bored of me yet. Very kind words from you, Andy. And I'm very happy. I've been obviously doing this for more than 3 years with TTL, with TTML, and I think with everything in the background, I mean, we've got Tom behind the scenes doing the graphics. They look great every single time, and there's big things coming along next season as well, so make sure you do stay tuned for that one. I know big things are happening, big things are on the horizon. If they weren't already, they are next season. Next season the graphics go way up, and we've got systems behind the scenes that will come in and help the commentators in the box even more than they do now. So it's very exciting times, very exciting graphics on the way. I know it's all in good hands, and I do want to thank everyone behind the scenes as well, not just Tom on the stream as well, who does a fantastic job every single time, multiple days a week. I don't know how he does it. But I want to thank Maze as well. Obviously, he first sent me a comment, I believe it was, on a YouTube video I did that's still on my channel on F1 2017, saying, do you fancy commentating over our league? Little did I know we'd be here 3 years later. So I want to say a big thank you to Maze. It's been an honour to lead the line here in whatever medium it's been, TTL, whichever, I almost want to call it cross league event that has come our way. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I know that stepping down from this, giving somebody else a chance at the reins is absolutely the right thing to do. I've really enjoyed the 3 years I've had, but it's time to close this chapter, to draw it to a close and start a new one with James at the helm. And James, I know it's in good hands. I've seen that potential ever since you were introduced to me after Andy left. I've always known in the back of my head, yep, that's the one. He's the one.
No, definitely so, and I know as well, everybody behind the scenes. I know Maze sends huge thanks as well, because he dropped me a message to make sure I said so. So there you go, Maze. I have said it and remembered.
You were forced into it. Oh
no, not at all. He asked me because he was like, "Are you the guest?" And I was like, "Yeah." But I've got a terrible memory, so I just thought I'd better make sure and remember it. But no, what you've done's been brilliant. Looking forward to the future still to see what's next as well. But we'll still be in touch. You'll still be around, just not live every Tuesday, Thursday night or whatever it is. But yeah, fantastic stuff from everyone. Pleasure, buddy. Absolutely.
Well, thank you. You're very kind. And I have to say, I don't think anybody will miss this jet engine I've got down on my left-hand side here. I don't think anybody will be missing that. Hang in there. You've only got... Wait, when do I get my PS5? Oh, yeah, that's right. Never. You've only got forever to go. Hang in there.
Flight TTML 365 is covered up for landing.
Oh, dear. It does actually sound like that. That's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. But... I mean, Andy, it's been a pleasure having you along, and I hope we do get to hear you on the airwaves on your own terms.
Yeah, well, I'll discuss that at a later point in time.
Yeah.
Tonight's not the night for anything like that.
Fair enough,
full decisions yet. Anyway, tonight is your last night having done something that you've done for 3 years, and, I wanted to make sure I came along and gave you the recognition I feel that you richly, richly deserve for what you've done. So, yeah, you're welcome, buddy. It's great. You're probably one of my best friends when it comes to this esports side of things, and it's been a privilege to commentate alongside you. It's a privilege to know you as well, bud.
Well, it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, Andy. I mean, right back at you. That's really what I say. It's just been a pleasure to be alongside you in the very early stages. I mean, I knew I was in good hands from that point onwards. It was onwards and upwards for both of us. So, I mean, just you coming along here tonight just means everything. So, thank you so much. And however you spend the rest of your night and the month, Andy, I just wish you all the best for the future. And hopefully, yeah, as you say, maybe we'll hope to see you back on the airwaves very soon.
We shall see. But for now, I'll mute this mic. I'll say good night, everyone. It's been a while since I've been on League Racing TV. Hope you're all keeping well and safe. But until next time, ta-ra.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Andy. I mean, he's such a nice guy, isn't he, Andy? He really is. Really is. But, James, we should probably wrap up the stream. Not about me, but about our new champion, in Perpetuum. He's done it.
He has done it indeed, and I think it was inevitable that he was going to do it. I know I predicted medium pilot at the end, but really good work, I think, from Perpetuum out on track, not only to take the win by 11 hundredths of a second, but to also, at 3 hundredths of a second in fact, but to also do what nobody else has done, and that's be a German win the championship in TTML on, I think, their second season back. And as I say, the saga's going to continue between Medium Parlour and Perpetuum and the rest of Division 1 next season as well. And to throw a bit of a curveball, I can very gladly announce who is going to be joining me in the commentary box and who you're going to be hearing from next week on the channel on TTML Division 1 in Australia. And that person who may or may not be watching and is not aware of this shout out, it's Mr. Luke Etheridge. Luke Etheridge is going to be joining me in the commentary box for Division 1 from next week. Tom is going to be the GOAT, of course, behind the scenes still, so you're going to still see him majority of the time on Tuesday nights, which is great. And as Kieran and Andy has alluded to, TTML is in great hands. I want to thank everyone, from Kieran, from Maze, to honestly all the commentators behind the scenes this season. If I don't get to say it on Friday, well done. Give yourself a pat on the back. Give yourself a round of applause. Your hard work, your determination puts TTML on the map. And let the technological revolution of next season begin with the introduction of a very brand new system which we'll come on to next week.
Yeah, and make sure you do tune into that one. Of course, we now turn our attention, as James alluded to earlier on in the stream, it's a very, very quick turnaround. We start again next week with season number 3. And just to give you that quick preview of the calendar for next season, there it is. It's a good looking calendar, I have to say. But that is all in order. That is all for you. From next week, we do it all over again. And Perpetuum, who will be ending this season on a high, if he's here next season, of course, will be looking to try and defend.
Oh. I think Kieran might have gone off.
Championship battle. If you've got nothing to lose, you get that aggressive strategy in there. So it's great to see so many drivers battle again. Carlsbury as well, one of those. Amazing hour. I mean, the Australian, he could be one of the first drivers from Oceania to have a chance of winning a title in TT Masters League. So watch out for him next season. But of course, it comes down to me. I want to thank everybody who's been watching, who's ever watched one of my streams here on League Racing TV. It's been an absolute pleasure to broadcast these races for you. I often say that it's not how many people turn up to the race that makes the race. It's the action out there is what makes it. You could have a lobby of 8 drivers, but if they're all really close together on the track, always going to put in a great shift. I mean, that taught me when I was with Andy alongside him at Belgium. It taught me that very early on. You don't need to have, the 20 odd drivers to have a race. It's nice to have them, but don't be discouraged if you see those 11 or 12 drivers. Nothing to do with the quality of racing you're about to see. And yes, we saw some mistakes out there, but that's all part and parcel of racing. It happens. And once the stewards have decided that, of course, the decisions and the official results will be posted there on TTML's Twitter page, which make sure you go and follow that one. You can also follow myself and James and Andy if you want to as well down in the description below. All of our Twitters are down there for you to follow at your perusal. But James, I'll leave one of the final words to you. Give us a preview of season number 3.
Season 3, we have Medium Pilot Perpetuum possibly doing battle, 2 champions against an up-and-coming force in Mashiro, Division 2 champion already crowned this season. Then you've got drivers like Amazing Hour. It is going to be an absolute sensational Season 3. And while I'm at it as well, you can also go and follow us on Instagram as well. Yes, TTML has Instagram as well. I'm sure that is in the description as well. But it is, the end has come of this partnership, but we shall move on, of course, to better things, and of course TTML will continue on as normal. But shall we do it for one last time?
I think we have to at this point. James, everybody's been waiting for it. But thank you so much for watching, and hopefully we will see you all next season. Until then, please look after yourselves in this crazy world we live in. And until next time, I've been Kieran McGinley.
I've been James Head.
Take care of yourselves, and we will see you next season.